Good morning everybody, and welcome to another MX5 Restorer weekly update on what's going on in the workshop. Just going to give you a quick run round and look what we're doing this week. Last week we ran through a couple of cars. We were starting, I think this one was cut open. We started on this one, so I've got updates to show you on this one and some more updates on the red one which we saw last week. And we've got two cars which are new in the workshop this week, which are these two. So we'll start with our red one that we're going to have for sale. So we got the guys to start stripping it for paint in the engine bay. I think when we spoke last week, I don't think anything was stripped out. So as you can see now, is the car's been stripped out, ready for paint. There's probably a couple of other bits that we're going to have to remove at the back of the engine in order to get to the bulkhead. But yeah, we're just waiting for it to go to the paint shop now. We're going to, basically the engine bay is going to be redone. There's corrosion that's been caused by either a leaky brake master cylinder, clutch master cylinder, or poor service attention to when fluids have been changed, and this is the result of brake fluid being left on paintwork. It just eats into it, and then obviously over time just starts corroding, which needed addressing really. It's not a big issue, it's all just surface, so just some surface corrosion which will all be cleaned up, treated and painted. This car I think deserves to have a restoration that's worthy of what it is really. It's an early production one. I say all info on this car is on a YouTube video which has gone live or going live in the very near future, I think, in the next week or so.
Will be live by the time this video goes up.
Yeah. So you can see all info on this one. Okay. On to Blue Mark 2.5. This one came into us for a free inspection a couple of months ago, and it was quite rusty. It was very rusty. The owner's going to have it repaired. We stripped it down yesterday, and it's come in to have the chassis rails done. Actually, while it's here, I can sort of like show you how bad. I mean, I have tapped it a little bit, but this, you know, if this was all dirty and cruddy, you wouldn't know. Quite rusty, as you can see. Normally when we do chassis rails, it's similar to this. The rust is a lot higher to this on this one than normal. It's not as corroded on the outside, and this, I think this is a direct result from this being on the seafront. It's a seaside car. A lot of salt is in the air, and I think because of the underseal condition of the vehicle, it's just allowed it to get into everywhere and start corroding it away. So this is going to be having chassis rails, and you can probably see underneath here there's a lot of corrosion under where the light would go. I think what we're probably going to be doing with this is probably cutting a section out of another vehicle and replacing it, because there's just a lot of corrosion. So chassis rails, rust at the front. The other side's a similar story really. Don't know if you can see, if you come underneath, you can. I haven't actually touched the underneath of this chassis rail yet, but this is how they can get as well. It's really corroded out and gone. And again, we've got rust up the top. A bit of a hole there, but we'll fix that. It's not a problem. Some rust in the front arch up here. Again, this is all due to sort of salt. Poor underseal, just where it needed to have been treated some years ago. The rust behind the wings, it's not too bad. It's still solid behind here, but it just needs a very good clean up. The car's going to have a full undersill, as well as rear seals, inner seals, the arches, and some work inside the wheel arches as well. It's not too bad, this one, but there is a lot of corrosion up here. You can see. You can see that whole, so what looks to be solid sometimes, it isn't. I think the other side is the same. Yeah. I've got a bit of welding there to do, Gareth.
Just a bit, mate.
Yeah, well, this is what you've got to look out for on these Mark 2.5s. We are seeing it quite commonly now in these rear wheel arches. They're quite bad, but it's hidden behind undersill, and you won't know until you start tapping away. So if you are looking to buy a Mark 2.5 and it does have rusty arches, this is normally a giveaway that you will have normally significant rust on this wheel arch lip if it's all bad inside. But we have seen them before where it is quite minimal, but there has been some rust on the inside, and again, it's all to do with the undersill and where the car's living. Okay, that's enough on that one. Got a Mark 1 Merlot. This one came to us, it was coming in for just seals. And when we started the cleanup process, our first cut was about from here across, but it showed a lot of rust behind that wing panel and travelling up the wheel arch, which then meant that we had to go back to the customer and explain that, you know, there is more rust. And as you can see, after cutting it out, the rust is up here. There was some surface rust that you could visibly see on the outer panel in this spot here, and this is another area where they tend to go. So we've carried on coming up. The arch lip here was blown, very slightly blown, and starting to separate. So you can see those areas there, and then obviously you come to here and that's when the rust has stopped. So now this will all be cleaned up and done. What was interesting was, so this is the section that was cut out, so that would have been on the car there, and this panel has been put inside of the existing panel that was on the car, so it's been put up. It was put inside and then just literally, it wasn't really welded on really. I mean, it's been spot welded on, but the welds weren't that good. They literally, you can see it just literally came away. There was two areas there where it had been attempted of doing a plug weld on, but hadn't really made any decent contact. And this was the same on both sides. Again, it didn't actually look too bad from the outside. We just had this little area here, but it's a previous repair that ideally hasn't been done in the best way. So yeah, that's the overall general condition of the car isn't too bad. The jacking points, if you come and have a look on the inside, the jacking points, you know, are in reasonably good condition. There was nothing that would point out that it was bad. It's just that the repair that's been done wasn't a repair where you've been able to fully cut open the rusted area, clean up, put some protection in, and you just put in bare metal against bare metal, and it's just going to start corroding very quickly again. On the passenger side, this hasn't been cut out yet, so you can see, I mean, attempt has been made to sort of clean it up, but it hasn't really worked. And again, this just, when we removed it at the bottom, it just came away very easily. There's just hardly any distortion where we've had to bend this panel to remove it. This is going to have the inner seal cut out. The other side has been cut out, so we'll come up higher. Inner seal be cut out, be cleaned up, treated. Same as the other side, really. Again, the jacking point on this side, it's not as in good condition as the other side, but it's still cleanable. We'll clean it up, treat it, and it'll be good to go. All right, so the Mark 1, the green Mark 1, we spoke about this last week on our weekly update, and we were doing, I think we've gone through the reasons why we started doing the rear quarter. So progress report on this, the old rear quarter has been now removed, and as you can see, our guy is just in the process of welding in, doing the plug welds on this rear quarter and getting it back in. It's this repair is ideally something that we would like to do on every MX5, but just the cost implication on the customer's budget, which some people are going to spend on an MX5 because what the MX5 is worth, but we're hoping that this is going to start a repair that's going to start becoming more feasible to the customer, of an ideal repair that they're going to be willing to sort of spend that money on their car, because it's just a better way of doing it. Good way. I think we're quite pleased with how that's come out as well. Okay, I think that's it, isn't it? All right, well, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for another update, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe. See you soon.